through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Hey.
What's
hey,
up,
everybody?
Garrett?
How are you doing?
Good, man. We did it. We're live.
Yes. Good Labor Day?
Yeah, for sure. How about you?
Dude, yeah. You know what's kind of crazy? I was almost being cliche how much I'd say. It's like, gosh, so much happened in this week. But we actually have this is probably the slowest news week cycle we've had.
Yeah, I know. And
God,
there's still too
years.
Much to cover.
Yeah, I know. There's still too much. But it is crazy. There's just not as much has happened. That's because they're getting ready for the big one. They're going to arrest Trump now in about, what are we down to, 16 days?
You'd think so, man.
He's going to prison.
Dude, that is so crazy.
The last biggest hope is the Supreme Court. You saw the presidential immunity thing. That's kind of like right before we started back the show.
That looked like a win for Trump, right?
It is. Yeah. They had so much shit they were throwing at him. They tried to bankrupt him. First, they impeached him over what was basically, he was essentially right. He got too close to the truth, so they impeached him.
Yeah, they can't have the truth.
No. And so they impeached him, and then, they tried to bankrupt him, and then they tried to kill him. And now we're to prison one here. Usually that prison one's before, but I think they had to jump to Plan Z after the presidential immunity.
Now they're on send him to prison. Yeah, that's the
yeah. So they have what we got 2.5, 3 weeks for his attorneys to get this pushed back because he's already been found guilty. So we're just waiting on the sentencing. There's no way this judge is not going to give him jail time or prison time. There's no
crazy,
way.
Dude. Well,
the rumor is it's a year in Rikers.
One thing about it is that when he wins anyway, it will just it'll be further exposing how corrupt the left is. So it's like almost this, boomerang good thing that they're going to persecute him with the Department of Justice.
What do you think is going to happen if he does get arrested? Do you think it's going to hurt him in the polls? Or do you think it's going to help him?
I think it's going to help him because, who is voting for him that's going to not vote for him because of that?
Yeah, it has thus far. Every time they've done it, some of the pollsters have basically warned, kind of like the MSNBCs and CNN said, hey, look, like Frank Luntz and stuff, those guys like never Trumpers. And they're saying, look, when we're calling people, they're way more likely to go vote after this. This is going to backfire.
Yeah.
And he's almost talking like this is going to backfire on you guys because they're obviously complicit in this.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does. It's like it's an impetus to go vote. And it's like it's going to be in the news. His name's going to be in the news, and it kind of martyrs him. And it just says like, hey, we got to go vote because they're persecuting our leader here.
Do you know what is the worst thing for Trump and the reason why the last election he lost? I've talked about this a lot. There's a subsection of voters. They're hurting voters, basically. They don't vote for who they think is going to be the best. They vote for who they think is going to win. Like, what a weird mentality. But him going to prison, I'm afraid, a lot of these A-plus pollsters have got polls waiting to be released right afterwards, showing like a 9-10% Kamala lead. And CNN, MSNBC, and all this have got their stories already written for this, but they're going to act like everybody is hurting towards Kamala.
Right, because he's a felon.
And it's going to work for a certain section of people. I guess
that's true.
Yeah, that last election was close. We're talking, if you have a box of 30,000 votes that you can have a mule go and deliver, it would be enough to turn the whole election.
Yeah, or if they just hadn't had a box of 200,000 fake votes, that could have changed the election too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at with the mule thing.
Well, let me ask you, Garrett. So you think he's going to prison? Do you think that will help him or hurt him?
I think it's going to hurt him, unfortunately.
You do.
If you look at, I think of the way things are going right now, he wins. The way things are already leaning. We've seen the rise of the Kamala. We've made fun of it every week. The most unpopular vice president ever.
Yeah.
To now, all the liberals love her, and all the independents love her, and the media loves her, even though she can't talk. She's the most liberal House member or the senator we've ever had, or in that session. Yada yada. I mean, I could go on and on about how terrible she is. They use a lot of that almost too early. She peaked too early. Nate Silver, who way underestimates Trump every year, so much so it's laughable. He's the one that was saying that Hillary had a 90% chance of winning. He's the one that was saying that if Biden doesn't beat Trump, it's because the election's rigged. That was back when it was safe to say the elections were rigged.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he was saying he's getting to the point where if Trump would win, it would be rigged. He's the one that said they had no chance in Florida, and he crushed Florida. But he now has Trump up like 55% to 45%.
Yeah, it's looking good for Trump recently. The honeymoon phase for Kamala's over already.
She's trying to back out of the debate. Did you see that?
Yep.
She doesn't. She wants they're using the unmute
rules.
Yeah, she's trying to change the rules. It's kind of funny. I think that they added those rules to almost humiliate Trump. Like they tried to do a whole look. He is so bad. We had to change these decades-long rules of debates. We have to mute the mic when it's not their turn, and it worked really well for him. Like he did great. I mean, so good that Biden had to back out of being the nominee.
That pretty much ended Biden's chances. Was that debate?
And so I think they're getting closer, and they know that takes away any little ammo Kamala has. I think there's a 50% chance they do the debate. She already said no to the Fox News one.
I hope they do. I think it'll be great for Trump.
Even if it's on, even if it is George Stephanopoulos.
They'll just attack him. But what can they do? Lily Lala, of course, she doesn't want to debate. She will get crushed. Yeah, that's what I think.
Pulled up. You can show the video of her one trick that she's got. And this is why they are very much want to change the rules. And it's so much so, do you know what's been crazy about this election cycle is everything has come through as rumors first. They'll basically say the rumors are this is what's happening, and they've been right 100% of the time. And all of a sudden they're saying, well, there's rumors that she is really trying to change the mic rule. And then she came out and said it. She had a tweet. And it was just a pathetic tweet about the president needs to be on an unmuted mic because he's got to make decisions on his feet. Like a really dumb excuse. It's her rule. The Democrats came up with that rule to try to humiliate Trump, but it worked so well.
Yeah, which is another great example of evil backfiring on itself.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is Kamala's big ace in the hole for the debate. And it's from the 2020 vice presidential debate. So this is why she wants the mics unmuted, right? That's what she's pushing for.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, so here, let me make sure everybody can see it. Yeah, I think it's pulled up. Here we go.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I'm
speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish,
How annoying is she?
we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the vice president. I'm speaking. Yeah, I'm about
Wow.
to.
How much did she say this?
I will not be lectured by the vice president.
Okay, so that was her big ace in the hole. She wants to do
She-
that to Trump.
She
There's
even
no
did that
doubt
head
about it.
nod. Do you remember when she became the rock star and she did like the obviously she's just speaking from a teleprompter, but the pro-Palestinian group started a chant in the middle of it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then she stopped them and she did that whole head nod thing too. And that's like her go-to. I think she thinks that plays out really well. There were a lot of dumb Democrat SEALs clapping and barking about how powerful that was, though.
Yeah. She
So,
won't be talked down to by some man,
yeah. I think she thought it was going to be like, that they already had the CNN, the MSNBCs, the ABC. I mean, they already had those headlines written beforehand, too, about her putting Trump in his place and him
I'm
being
sure
a
they're ready
fictional
with those
child.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But ABC, I guess in their defense, they came out and said, these were the agreed upon rules. We're not changing them. She's still arguing for it, though. And the odds, if you look at Pauly Market, the odds of her doing the debate are going down a bit. Like, it was really high for a while.
Man,
and it's
if
less
she
so.
backs out of the debate, I feel like that would look
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I think it'll be over.
Kenobi.
Minus Rikers, I guess.
She did a lot of head nodding and bobbing back in the day. Yeah, that's how she got into politics.
But yeah, so Trump is on the path to go to prison, and without that, as it stands now, like, who knows if there's gonna be an October surprise or not. I'm guessing. This feels weird that we've had a week with basically nothing between those two, and on top of that, it's really hurt her. I mean, she's definitely now you're looking for the whole DNC bump and the VP bump, and they were trying to act like this was gonna reroute and change how the DNC and the RNCs would be done every year, because they're basically saying like, oh look, they did this so late and they announced the candidate this late. It seems to be working. I think we've seen her peak already.
Yeah, I do too. But
And
another thing about that is with black voters, she is not popular. Like, most of them don't know,
Do you know what I think it is? I think Trump is just popular with black voters.
Yeah, Trump
Compared-
is popular with them,
Yeah,
which is a
compared with
major
the-
blow to the Democrats if they can't get the black vote.
Yeah.
But there's a problem, Garrett, because she's out there campaigning, and she's really she's trying to relate to the black
She's a good
voters.
orator.
Yeah, she's such a great
speaker.
speaker. And we have a clip from today.
Yep, and it's talking because it's Labor Day, so she's got to go and talk
There
to
you
those
go.
unions.
So here she is. She's gonna. Oh, you know what? We should play this one. Yeah, we should play this one second. We got to play this one first.
Thank union.
So she goes around.
This is in Pittsburgh.
This one's in Pittsburgh. Okay, so she's given the same speech. It's a stump speech she gives to different cities, that she's in. And let's listen to her give
There's
this one
no
in Pittsburgh.
off script from her, by the way. Yep.
Here she is in Pittsburgh. Let's listen to her speech here.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time.
Okay. Thank unions. Okay. But now let's hear how she gives that same speech in Detroit.
What's
Ready
the
for
difference,
this?
you think?
You better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You better thank a union member.
You know what's funny? She grew up rich, affluent, in a nice neighborhood in California.
Right.
But now, when she's talking to people that she perceives as dumb, she dumbs it down.
Yeah, the liberals we talked about that before. They all do that, dude.
They really, I think I told you there's a study, I usually pull it up, but that is definitely a liberal quality. There's a study showing that liberals talk down to black people way more than conservatives do. And it was so funny. There's a Reddit thread on it. Everyone on Reddit is basically admitting, like, yeah, I do that. It's a bad habit.
It's because they're so racist, dude.
Yes.
Kenobi said something. Let me read it. Black voters are waking up because of what Dems have done to their cities and families. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's also be very, very clear. Black voters are voting 5-1 towards the Democrat side. The thing was, it used to be 9-1. So, I mean, you're doubling
it's a
your
huge
chunk.
blow.
It's a huge one, especially Trump compared to every other Republican presidential before that. But they still are massively, the voting bloc
but
massively still going to look.
The more speeches they see of her, the more they abandon the Democrat Party because she's insufferable.
If you break it down, you'll say you have married males and single males. Both of them lean more towards conservative. Married women, more towards conservative. Single females is the big block that basically decides if there's enough of them to vote Democrat or not to push the Democrat over the edge.
Yeah.
It's a single female that we talked about now is on like 50% of them are on SSRIs or something similar. And they're the ones now that control if enough of them show up to vote or not to decide who the president is.
It's the childless
really
cat ladies elected.
Yeah,
just like they said.
That's why they're hammering that. And the point he made was very legit, but man, they're just hammering that.
Yeah.
And rightfully, that's why, because that's the voting bloc that wins them the election.
But, we've pointed out this Kamala tendency to, speak black when she speaks with black people, even though normally she doesn't. But she pulls this charade when she's in front of black audiences. And
the Hillary Clinton, we call it.
We've shown this before, and there's just so many examples of her doing this. And yeah, Hillary Clinton did the same thing. But let me show this video because it's just one of my favorite examples of this exact phenomenon by Kamala. Here she is.
So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas.
Can't get over that. You know that's a lie.
Absolutely a lie.
Everything these people say is a lie. Yeah. Nobody's asked her to make her stupid bathtub.
Yeah, a mean pot of greens. Yeah,
Nobody
right,
asked
Kamala.
her to think that.
Yeah, dude.
Kamala, can you go in your bathtub and make some fucking greens for me? It's just everything they say is a lie.
I know,
Speaking
it's
of,
despicable.
See, she's told a lie that she worked for McDonald's.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she's trying to connect with the dumb people that she's talking down to.
Yeah, she's trying to relate to working class people. And she's just a liar.
It wasn't just, hey, I used to work there. She goes into specifics. I used to work the cash register and I used to work the fries.
Right. And it's like a proven lie. McDonald's came out and said Kamala never worked for us.
Yeah, nobody could find it.
That's very recent. We'll pull that clip up after we show this, I think.
Yep.
Because we might as well show her lying about that.
Yep.
Okay, here she is talking about the mean pot of greens she makes.
1 year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around.
Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made us some crab apples for dessert now, yeah? Hey, yeah.
They're making fun of her before this happens.
Yeah.
They're making fun of her.
How did Tropic Thunder know she would do that?
Unreal.
Oh my God, dude. It's hard to deal with. How these people are just, they have no integrity at all.
She's not talking. She's not doing interviews. She's that 18-minute one that I think we might have played some clips. I can't remember. But supposedly that's like a 50-minute interview where they just cut up to 18 minutes. And obviously they were giving her lob balls and they were giving her multiple choice questions.
For just
they're trying to do the whole unity thing, even though they're suing everybody to keep everyone off or on the ballots. So they're still trying to do the unity thing. And CNN gave them the biggest lob ball going, do you think you would bring a Republican on as a cabinet member? And she acts all pensive. It's like, yeah, You know what? I think I would. It's really important to have those different opinions, and they're doing that, obviously.
Dude, I thought she was going to say no.
No, come on, you had Adam Kinzinger and those fake Republicans and stuff.
Yeah, oh, she would, but I mean, she'd go ahead and put the Uniparty guys on there.
Speaking of Adam Kinzinger, I could never, just shows how dumb the guy is. Do you remember when the Ukraine war started happening and there's the rumors of the ghost of Kiev, which was supposed to be like this jet fighter that was turning the tides of the war?
Yeah.
Adam Kinzinger fell for a joke.
That, yeah.
We found who the ghost of Kiev is. But you know what's funny about that? God, if you can find that,
dude, let me pull that up. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things. That guy actually fell for that. And he didn't apologize. He doubled down afterwards.
It was Sam Hyde, who's like a comedian.
His fans do this every time there's a terrorist attack.
This is it right here. I found it.
Yes.
So,
God, this is so cringy. The ghost of Kiev has a name, and he has absolutely owned the Russian force. Godspeed, more kids. Kill Samuel. Look at the picture.
Yeah, and then they just photoshopped Sam Hyde's face onto a Ghost of Kiev air pilot here.
I love how he capitalizes owned.
What an idiot.
But we had CNN and New York Times and people talking about the ghost of Kiev like it was real. And then there's that whole weird Snake Island thing where there were supposedly like 9 people on this island fighting
holding
that Russian...
off the horde.
Yeah. The Russian warship.
People will believe anything, man.
And they just act like, well, you know what? People needed a morale boost, so we're not going to apologize for that.
Yeah,
they don't care that they're spreading just weird fake news.
Hey, here's a random clip of Kamala. It looks like they combined it with a Trump commercial, so let's see what this is.
I had a summer job at McDonald's.
Okay, that was her lying. Okay.
That was her talking. You can tell she's talking to people she thinks dumber than her again.
Summer job at McDonald's.
A big and tasty for just $1? How do you do it? What's your secret?
Kamala.
Together, Grimace, we could own this town.
I had a summer job at McDonald's.
There you go. That was her in the Grimace suit, guys. So maybe she did work there.
But the whole, you go back to the unity thing, that is their way to try to, because I don't think the polling kind of hasn't been a lot of polling right now. I think it's probably because of the holiday weekend and stuff. So we haven't seen what that's going to do with RFK joining. Like I said, I think the Tulsi Gabbard thing's not nearly as much, but he is. But you know what's unique about this is the reason they did that RFK is a Democrat. He's a classical Democrat. But he just sees how corrupt this is because they were spending millions of dollars and using the courses to keep him off ballots. And I don't even know if he was going to be on the 50 state ballots. Like he had to go, like in Colorado, he had to join with the Libertarian Party. Like he had to do shit like that. And now that he finally says, fine, screw it, I back out, take me off the ballots. Now they're paying millions of dollars to keep him on the ballot.
Right. Now they're trying, which is so strange to me that they can do that. A guy wants to not be on the ballot and they won't let him get off of the ballot. Yes. Like, how is that legal? You're forcing the guy to run for president?
How weird. Yeah.
They shouldn't be able to do that. If he wants to withdraw his name, he should definitely not be on the ballot.
But it just shows how hypocrites they were. They're fighting to keep him off. And he's like, okay, fine, you win. Now, like, no.
No, now you have to stay on.
The McDonald's that is getting rid of jobs, replacing them with robots because of Dem wage policy. Yeah, it looks like they're going to like it's flipping its burgers and stuff. You know where I'm at? McDonald's had even you go to order and it'd be AI, and it was pretty great. You could roll up and as fast as you want. You can just say, "I'll do this, no catch, no hold," and it just gets it.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
you can see if we even care to bring it up, but there's a video of a guy showing like when it first came out how intuitive it was. It's kind of interesting because he was just rattling off and it is not taking long to catch up.
I saw that they opened a fully automated McDonald's with 0 employees, so it's just robots in there, and I mean it looks like the future to me.
And just wait till you add AI to the whole thing too.
Yeah,
like AI. People are just sleeping on AI. Wall Street's not. I mean, you have NVIDIA that went up like 100x or whatever. They're either the second most or the most valuable company in the world right now, and they were nowhere near it a couple years ago. So Wall Street's not really sleeping on it, but everyone that's the armchair quarterbacks that aren't having their own money into it are screaming about how it's a bubble and it's going to pop. It's obviously not. That's the same as like the accounts that tried to say the internet was a bubble and going to pop, and how fax machines are going to stay bigger than the internet.
Right. And that cars are a fad and it'll be horses.
Yes, yes.
Here in Sioux Falls, they have all kinds of, they have gone all kiosk ordering. Yeah. It's just
They
like
don't
the
think
grocery stores all self-checkout now.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Now
weird
the
times when
grocery
there's
stores.
zero jobs.
Now grocery stores, they basically just deliver to you. You just do it on an
Yeah,
app
even
now,
that,
and
yeah.
it's delivered. Yeah, which is even better. You know, I do think, kind of going to that, it forever people have been scared of that. I used to kind of collect old like articles where the combine was coming out and how that was going to be the end of jobs. All it did was free up people to do better jobs. Really, it kind of the same. You know, as a kid, I used to bean walk. And now you don't, nobody bean walks. You just have a tractor do it, essentially.
Bean walk?
But-
What is that?
Yeah. You used to have a knife, a sword.
You're talking about roguing.
You go up and down beans and just cut the weeds, and the weeds are going to overtake them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So now you
I
don't
did
do
that for a summer. It was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. You had to get up
Roguing was
so
terrible.
early.
Yeah.
But kind of what I'm getting at forever. And they thought the same thing with the car. So many things they thought was going to be the end of the workforce. But like, I think that these are going to take away the jobs that are just mundane. It's not a job if you're telling someone, hey, I'm going to pay you for 4 hours to dig a hole over here and then come back after lunch and you're going to be filling in these holes for the next 4 hours. Just because you're doing 8 hours of labor doesn't mean it's productive.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of where you see like Argentina and these countries that were collapsing. So many of their citizens were just on the government's payroll, and they weren't even really doing real jobs. But it's just like, well, we created jobs. There's people given jobs. They act like that. There's something holy about that, and it's not. Let's free it up. You know, if you want to spend the resources on it or whatever, but don't have those guys digging a hole for 4 hours and filling it back up.
Yeah,
that's what AI is gonna be doing. It's gonna be freeing up a lot of that type of stuff.
It'll free up like everything. That's what's kind of
Yeah.
scary because if there's
Great.
yeah,
I mean,
I agree, great, but if there's 150 million people without a job, and I
maybe
don't know
people
what
go down
will.
maybe we'll go down to working 3 hours a week instead of 40. Thank you, union. Thank you, union, for your 3 hour work weeks.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, the price of things should go down if robots and shit can do everything.
You know, if you break it down to the basics, and that's why disastrous energy policies that we're seeing in Germany. Germany is decommissioning nuclear power plants that are working and safe and clean. But for some reason, the liberals and the green people are against it. I have no idea why. I can't find out why. But they're against it just because they have to be wrong on every little issue.
Yeah.
But
They
if you
somehow pick the wrong choice every time.
if you break it down, especially if you have non-human labor into it, the cost of everything comes down to scarcity and the power. So electricity or whatever's powering it. Everything to right now even comes down to those two things. That's why those free stupid magazines you get in the mail, you don't even look at, you throw them away. If we get to that point where we have a bunch of nuclear energy and we have it where people don't have to be out there digging holes and filling it back in, those free magazines you're throwing away, that's going to be whatever. That's going to be anything you want to order, basically, because it's not going to be scarce anymore, and that the power to do it is going to be next to free, especially if they get to the point where they figure out cold fusion or something.
Yeah, I mean, these kinds of breakthrough technologies end up making everyone richer. It's just scary at first because it looks like, oh, maybe we'll all starve.
And you don't want the wrong people in charge of it and stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But probably it will be a benefit to all humanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Garrett, look, we're 30 minutes in.
Yep.
I think we should just jump straight to the Venezuela thing.
Let's do it.
Actually, okay, let's do that. So for people who don't know, Venezuelan gangs have taken over apartment complexes in Colorado, which shouldn't happen in the United States of America, you know?
Do you know what I wish we saved? Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're
You know what I
good.
wish we saved from the DNC is they had like a round table talk where they're talking, and they basically essentially said, we have to quit being weird for 90 days. We have to be careful with what we say.
I saw that.
I feel like this is a part of that a little bit, where they're almost wanting to, hey, don't talk about this yet. We're for the open borders and stuff, but don't report on this.
Yeah,
We
sweep
want
this under
to
the
go
rug
away.
just till after the election. Yeah.
Because this is crazy. This is happening in a major city.
Yeah, this should never happen in America, you know?
And if there was no
How could
X,
this
we
happen?
wouldn't even hear about this.
Yeah.
I'm sure Facebook would delete it for being racist. The media will just do whatever the DNC or the Democrats want.
Right. Well, let me show Trump. Actually, I'm going to hide our webcam so we can see him. Let me show what Trump says about this little thing. This is a good lead into the... And on the left, this video on the left is a video of one of the apartment complexes that the Venezuela gang has taken over. You can see they've got like heavy-duty firearms.
Colorado
Which
today.
is
Did you
obviously illegal in Colorado.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're
see
right.
that? Where Venezuelan gang members have taken over parts of the city. They've taken over apartment houses because these stupid people that we have leading our country are allowing these people, these criminals, to come into our country, and we're going to get them the hell out of here. And this is just the beginning. Wait till you see what happens. Wait till you see what they're doing.
He just hasn't seen the governor of Colorado. That's the problem.
How great. I mean, Trump, I believe Trump. I think as soon as he's president, like, that'll be fixed. They'll just throw those people in jail or deport them or whatever. The media in Denver is downplaying this big time. My in-laws live there, and they are acting like it's not a big deal. Well, yeah, I'm sure that's true. I'm sure the media is running cover for the Democrats. But we have videos of actual citizens who it's a very big deal for who are living in fear and are being extorted by gangs. Okay, but Garrett, you mentioned the governor of Colorado. Like, yeah, I have a theory why this might be happening in Colorado. Because you got Trump, who's a strong leader, who would get rid of that. And let's see, maybe why these Venezuela gangs might have chosen Colorado to conquer. This is the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis. Let's see. Let's see about his leadership.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad.
Oh my God.
This
They
is-
even had to cut him off. That was so bad.
Yeah, him and Tim Waltz can have a weird contest. Just amazing. And
Show
then-
him at the DNC.
Yeah. Here's the same
Oh,
governor of
man.
Colorado at the DNC this year, just a couple months ago. So listen to this great speech.
As a Redditor, gamer, entrepreneur, and Swiftie from the free state
my
of Colorado,
God.
I'm excited by Kamala Harris's vision for protecting and expanding our personal freedom, internet freedom, and economic freedom. Democrats welcome weird, but we're not
Oh my God.
I didn't even see this whole
He
thing.
didn't get the memo soon enough.
Yeah,
And that's like we talked about. They were trying to get ahead of these weird fucks.
holy shit.
He didn't get the demo.
I'm going to
The-
back it
the
up a
memo.
second and let him say that again.
Democrats welcome weird, but we're not weirdos telling families
Yeah, you
who
are.
can and can't have kids who to marry or how
Nobody's
to live our
Nobody's ever said any of that.
I know.
Can and can't have kids?
Nobody
What
said
the
anything. Well, you know what, though? I do kind of say that men can't be pregnant. Is that what he's talking about?
lives. These Project 2025 people, like Trump and Vance, are not just weird, they're dangerous. They want to take us backwards, but we aren't going back, like ever, ever, ever.
Oh
That was
my
a Swiftie song.
God.
Holy shit.
Do you know of all that cringe he said?
Yeah.
You couldn't torture it out of me to call myself a Redditor. Oh my God,
Dude, that speech delivered harder than I thought it was gonna. That was incredible.
You know what's funny is you could tell they got the memos of calm weirdos, talk about Project 2025. Yeah. Trump said over and over, I have no idea what the fuck this is.
Oh, I know. He's against 2025.
And they basically said, I heard so much about it, I read it, and I hate it.
Yeah.
He said it was way too far. Even like CNN is starting to fact check them. I think they finally stopped talking about it so much. But it's like, holy shit. They just, we said this before, the media has never wanted you ever to be as ignorant as they are now. They do not want you to hear from Kamala because they know you're going to hate her. And they know that she's really dumb and not even going to talk to her. And they don't want you to hear from Trump because they know you're going to like him.
Yeah.
And they know you're going to vote for him.
Yeah.
So they have to just keep you ignorant. That's what they're doing. That's why they're pissed when X lets you see this shit. And when they're giving you the unfiltered information. They hate it.
Yeah.
You remember Cuomo back in the day during COVID? No, it wasn't even COVID. It was the emails. When Hillary Clinton's emails got hacked, he basically said, it's illegal for you guys to read these. Don't worry, it's not for us. And we're going to tell you what's important.
Yeah, I think we might have shown that on the show one time.
You guys don't look for this. That's on us. We'll
tell you what's in them. Don't read them yourself.
They're the bad false prophets from back in the day. Like, how uncanny is that?
Yeah. And
those are biblical stories of that from thousands of years ago. And here we have potato sack Brian Stelter doing that. Like, it's crazy.
And you're totally right about the strategy from the Democrats is silence Trump. Don't let you see anything about Trump. And silence Kamala. Don't let you see anything about Kamala. And I think it's a great strategy. It's what they should be doing. They should be just censor everything. Don't let anyone see anything.
Do you remember during January 6th was happening? Trump tried to make a bunch of videos saying, go home. BBs, leave. Go home. And that's when they started banning him. Right when he was trying to post that, they was like, yep, we're yanking your account. We're yanking your Facebook account. We're yanking your X account. That's when he was basically, they didn't want that to get out there. Because that was their card. Do you know what their other card was? Was the pipe bomb.
Oh,
the government.
We need to go over that, dude.
The government placed pipe bombs in front of the RNC and the DNC. And it's so obvious that they did it.
It pretty much got caught. I mean, the proof is in
and it went away. Once the sleeper cells were able to convince people to walk into into the chambers, they said, okay, let's make this pipe bomb thing go away. But that was for sure.
Yeah, we're going to have to show that because we actually had a whole show ready for that. We had a bunch of clips pulled up showing that probably the FBI, one of these intelligence agencies, planted pipe bombs and then said it was crazy MAGA people.
Call it in, and a bunch of people stand around it because they're not really afraid of it because they know it's a plant.
And it got proven on X that, like, look, here's the people that planted it. It's these agents.
Here's the people that called in.
We're going to have to show that sometime.
Yeah, for sure, because that was their plan B.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough people out there yelling, we got to go inside. We got to go in there. So they had to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
And they went through with it, and it fell very flat.
Well, guy in a weirdness contest with Tim Walz, Jared Polis there, he mentioned being a gamer, and Kenobi says was the first to buy Dustborn type gamer. Jared Polis is probably playing Dustborn. He's one of the 20 people playing it.
I feel like we didn't do Dustborn. It's due worth there because there are just some funny woke shit about that game. I'm going to check once in a while. I still can't find more than 20 people playing it. And how crazy is that? That's a major AAA game.
Yeah, I'm sure they lost $100 million or something.
Dude, I might have to just play that sometime.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, we should do a live stream playing Dustborn. Okay, let's show more about the Venezuela thing.
Yeah.
So this video's whatever, just shows them in the hallway. But let's show the mothers talking about it. Hang on. Well, here, let's show the mayor talking about it. How about that?
I think he actually,
So there are several buildings actually under the same ownership, out-of-state ownership. that have fallen to these Venezuelan gangs. I'm trying to walk it back and do the investigation as to how there's a concentration of Venezuelans in these three buildings. Somebody put them there, and somebody funded it. Whether it's federal government or not, we're trying to find out who these gangs apparently are.
You know, right there, he hinted at the federal government placed these Venezuelans into these apartment complexes.
You know, I think they let them in. I think they flew them in. But I don't think they're having them. I don't think they like that this is happening right now. They want this to happen.
No, it's terrible news for them.
Yeah, they want this to happen closer to December. They don't give a fuck. Right now, they don't like it.
Yeah, it's bad press, and it shows the border problem. And the ineptness of Kamala specifically.
Did you see what they're doing about with the border? They're saying our border crossings are so far down now. It's because they're flying them over the border.
Oh,
so they're not even letting them cross.
I saw
They're
JD Vance talked about that.
Yes.
They say the crossings at the southern border are down, and that's true. But overall, the amount of illegals entering the country is still the same as it was because
it's way up.
Because now taxpayers are paying to have them flown into different ports of entry. It's absolutely insane, dude. I really don't like it. But the Democrats hate this country, so.
Or attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants. And so they've, in fact, have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents.
Okay, so that's the point I wanted to make. These Venezuelan gangs, they are taking the rent money from the residents of these. Can you imagine you live in fucking Colorado and all of a sudden you get a knock on your door and they say, hey, give us the rent. And it's not your landlord and you have to because they own guns. How's that happen in America, Garrett?
So this is the mayor saying it's happening. That Jared Polis, by the way, says it's not happening. He said that it's another whatever. The same thing they tried saying when people would point out that Biden has got dementia and stuff. But he's saying it's not happening. It's so funny how 1984, it's just defined on the most important rule was to not believe your eyes and believe the party.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy how that is just constant now. They just lie to you and tell you, and you have so many people laughing it up going, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you're a good Democrat, though, you just go ahead and nod along with it. Even if you know it's a lie, you say it's...
Guys need tampons. And
it's men need tampons.
It's so crazy how prophetic that was.
Well, I won't play this whole video because it's 3 more minutes. Unless I should.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't.
But I think we get the point across.
Yeah, okay. Let's go on to...
But you see...
I want to show this
videos, yes. Is this where she's like showing how she's going to lock her doors and stuff? Have you seen that one?
I don't know.
There's a mom showing like, this is how to lock my doors every time I come in the house. It's just deadbolt after deadbolt.
Oh, yeah, I saw some videos of that. Like, there's way more videos than we're going to show, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely
So what's going on with this, like, gang thing? Because, like, literally, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm a mom. Some of my friends are moms, too. And it's gotten so bad to the point we don't even want to take our kids to the park without being in a group. And even in a group, we have to make sure that someone has a taser. We have some type of, like, pepper spray. We have to have some type of protection. Me, I don't mess with guns. That's just personally me, because guns, they scare me. So it's just like, I don't know. We need to figure out something, because, like, I'm not going to lie. This is terrifying.
I got it. Take a concealed carry class and get comfortable around guns.
Yeah. Your taser's not going to help you against the Venezuelan street gang. And it's like Kenobi said, this is why we need ARs. Yeah.
No.
And yeah, Sheen, if you want to be self-protected, take a concealed carry class and get proficient with a pistol, lady.
Do you know what your number one, as a parent, your number one goal has to be? Is just to get your somewhere safe. I don't care if it's boring. I don't care if it's nowhere. Get them somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Where they're not going to be dealing with this.
And you know,
that should be your number one goal.
That's the thing about this thing, too. It's like, I'm sure Aurora in general is a safe city until the Democrats have taken over and turned it into a shithole. Yeah. And now there's Venezuelan street gangs own my apartment. You know? How the fuck did that happen? But
you do got to think, like, could this really happen in a red area? I kind of think no.
There's no
I think it might
way.
be because of castle doctrine and gun ownership and stuff. I kind of think no.
I think no too. I think just in general, like a Republican state won't allow this. They would go arrest these people and throw them in jail. But Democrats,
they're worried about being
love
called
lawlessness.
racist.
Yeah. And so they won't enforce the laws, and instead the people just get terrorized.
Yeah.
And then they vote blue anyway because they're idiots. So here's another person talking about it. Let's play some of this, I guess.
So, I live in Colorado. Colorado, obviously, is a landlocked state. We do not have any oceans around us. Denver is a sanctuary city, which means that migrants are actively being bussed in to Denver.
Okay.
Denver's already a little bit of a scary city. If you drive downtown, it's a little bit terrifying. But now we have a situation in Aurora. Aurora is about 20 minutes south of Denver. I live one town away from Aurora, just south of it. So not very far. We go to Aurora for a lot of things. Doctors, shopping. There's so many things that we go to Aurora for. So to have this Venezuelan gang taking over with guns apartment buildings, not one, but 2 apartment buildings, is terrifying. It is a small town. I wouldn't consider a small town. It's a small town compared to Denver, but...
Okay, I'm going to cut her off just to make the point again that, like, so Jared Polis says this isn't happening and it's not a big deal. But to the people of Colorado, it's a scary thing, you know?
How can you tell someone's a liberal by looking at them? I don't want to go on that tangent, but you guys kind of thinking about it, because we were talking about that in the show the other day. I definitely got it. When you have the feminized males, you know that that's a liberal. And it's the masculine females. You know that those are the liberals. And if it's a masculine male and a feminine female, you know they're not liberal.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
although some feminine females are still liberals. Too many females are liberals.
Because they're crazy cat lady.
Yeah. And just in general, females need to wake up and stop being liberals. The sooner the better. But they've got the hive mind group think so much that it just screws all the rest of us over.
You know, my 7-year-old daughter is, she knows nothing about politics, of course, and barely, I think, even has an idea of what politics is. But she's talking, like, at school, a lot of the friends are, like, excited that there might be a female president. It's a bunch of 7-year-old girls.
I could see. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the only good thing, is that young girls who, they would be able to say, oh, good, a female can become president. I'm not against a female being president, obviously.
Not.
I'm against Kamala Harris being president because she sucks.
I've talked about how I like RFK, and if I had to pick, I'd pick RFK. His vice president is really, really impressing me. And it's probably the same thing. I'm sure if we talked politics or like we talked economics, it'd be so far removed from each other. But when he picked her, I remember thinking like, oh, God damn it. Why would you pick her? She's been great. She's been better than he has.
See, I know nothing about her, honestly. But let's show that commercial they funded.
Yeah.
I think we covered the Venezuelan gangs. It's insane.
Yeah, you're right.
It would only happen in a Democrat state. Kenobi says, I assure you this wouldn't happen in South Dakota. Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't. There's no way.
Man, South Dakota is kind of a cool, underrated state. If you ever been to like the Black Hills and stuff, fucking, it's great.
That's Kristi Noem, right?
I believe so, yeah. But I went out there during COVID. COVID insanity, even in red areas, in the height of it was still like, Jesus Christ. You go there, nobody gave a shit. The people look at you funny if you're wearing a mask.
Yeah, exactly. See, she was one of the few brave governors to open the state up when all the cowardly liberals were trying to lock everyone down, which is when I became a huge fan of her.
Yeah.
And like, just to make that point, like, I'd vote for Kristi Noem for president.
Oh yeah,
I don't know that much about her, but I love that she seems to
anyone
like freedom.
That pushed back against speaking of RFK's running mate, one of the things that she was holding out on she wanted Trump to admit that like Project Warp Speed was wrong, and him listening to.
So, dude, then I love this chick.
Yeah. So she tried to get him to hold out longer, but
He's
I
still
think
wrong
our
about
pick
that
just
shit.
knew. Yeah, I think he just knew like it's getting to be too late.
Yeah,
But she wanted to hold out, and say that it was wrong. But so yeah, and then she came out with this ad on her own. Like how great is that?
Okay, yeah. So her name was what? Nicole Shanahan.
Yeah.
So here's an ad she made for Trump here. Let's play it. It's pretty good.
Are you or your loved ones suffering from illnesses such as TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome? Do you dismiss or deny the current issues facing our country, such as historic inflation, illegal immigration, corporate corruption, World War III escalations, and the chronic disease epidemic? Are you willing to elect someone who was the least popular vice president in modern history, and who offers no policy or vision for America simply because your brain keeps telling you anyone but Trump? If so, you might be struggling from TDS. Introducing Independence. Independence allows you the freedom to finally think independently once again. Instead of believing everything you hear from the mainstream media, Independence allows for constructive critical thinking.
I used to hear people on the news say things like,
Donald Trump and the movement he has encouraged are a threat to democracy.
And I instantly believed it. With Independence, I now realize the media is run by the Democrat elite, who are a corrupt oligarchy that censors free speech, silences political opponents, supports forever wars, and abandons democracy by anointing its candidates.
Independence may not be for everyone. If you enjoy being lied to about your president's cognitive abilities, support Orwellian totalitarianism, or are excited about communist fiscal policy, Independence may not be right for you. Common side effects of Independence may include an awakening of rational thought, successfully identifying propaganda, freedom of choice, loss of hatred, anti-narcissistic behavior, and love of democracy.
I used to blindly hate whoever my party was running against. I didn't care about facts or policy because I was hopelessly indoctrinated. With Independence, I'm much more interested in policies that uphold democracy, and I truly care about the health of our country and its citizens.
Ask your doctor if Independence is right for you, and enjoy your freedoms once again.
Dude, that's like a perfect ad.
Hey, can you hear me, by the way?
I can hear you now. Can you
Okay,
hear
good.
me?
Yeah, I think we're lagging for a little bit, but
Oh.
yeah, I think I'm coming back. So they brought up like a couple good points there. They're calling it the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. That's like one of the big things they're into.
Yep.
It's making people healthy. But do you know what I've noticed? And we should get the clips of these. But people that are getting red pilled, and they're getting red pilled because the media's lied so much about Trump. And they'll see something, and someone will finally tell them, like, hey, that's not what happened. And they'll look into it, and they'll say, oh, my God, my mind blew.
Yeah.
You've seen the clip where Trump is doing, like, this whole thing, right? And they're saying that he's making fun of a disabled reporter.
Yep,
Do you see that?
I remember that. Yep.
Do you know that that's not what he was doing
Yeah,
at all?
I know.
He's done that for years and years. Whenever anyone, like, he's talking about someone lying, he does that. And they use that and deceptively edit it to make it look like he's making fun of a handicapped reporter, and that's another one that's got a bunch of people when they finally, and the whole bleach thing, the injecting bleach.
Yep.
There's still, Kamala still says that. She tweeted it out yesterday, and that is not at all what he was saying. Of course,
It's the same
and
as
if you hold her toes to the coals on that one, she'll say, yeah, but or the media will do this. Yeah, but he was saying that people were going and doing stupid stuff. Well, the only reason they're doing that is because you were reporting wrongly on it.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't telling the truth about it because you wanted to get your clicks
Yeah.
because you're in so much trouble. And then you're blaming him for your terrible reporting. Like, it's crazy.
It's the same thing as that find people on both sides thing. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
that
people
one.
found out that was a huge lie, and that woke them up.
Yep. But, they're talking about, this kind of goes together with the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, and how I said earlier how it was the feminine male. We talked about that when we saw the people getting off the bus, the feminine males and the masculine females.
Yeah.
Do you want to play that clip that I sent you? I think this isn't on accident.
What? Which clip?
I'm frozen, by the way. But the one where they're talking about how all of the animals in that harbor had drugs in their system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, I think this kind of goes to my point I was trying to make.
Hang on a second. Let me pull it up. Okay, here it is. This?
Yeah, I can't see it. I'm lagged out, but I could see
really?
that it's working on your end. I can see it's working on your end, and I think it's working on the live.
Okay.
But yeah, play that out. It's a short one, but I think it kind of ties together some of the stuff that she's saying and I was saying earlier. And I'm not quite sure that this is not on purpose, too, by the way.
Okay, so they found all marine life tested at Langstone Harbor tested positive for drugs. So this is a
sewage
1
treatment
minute
plant
clip.
behind us takes in the waste of 500,000 people, and when it can't cope with it, it chucks it straight out here. And in the marine life just beneath our feet, we're actually finding they're full of drugs. They're full of contraceptive pill, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. Every single marine species that we've looked at so far is full of cocaine.
Sorry, Richard, can I just ask you to clarify with your expert there, if your expert is still there? Every marine species is full of cocaine, did he say?
Pause it real quick.
Okay.
And everything they said there, cocaine's by far the one I'm worried least about.
Cocaine would be the one I'm not worried about. Yeah.
The SSRIs, the contraceptive pills, the depression pill, like that's the shit that changes you.
The frogs are
You're
gay.
the ones that turning the frogs gay. And it's feminizing the liberal men and masculizing the liberal females.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
You're totally right.
And they're worried about the cocaine.
Yeah, the cocaine's no problem. I'll eat that fish. I'll eat the cocaine fish.
Yeah,
but I don't want to eat
I'll
the
pay
hormone
extra
fish.
for that.
Yeah.
I'll pay extra for that. Just make sure this other shit's not in it.
Yeah, no shit.
But you know, if you're thinking I don't eat seafood, that's because it's in every waterway now. It's in every aquifer. It's everything. There's no getting away from it. You do your best to minimize it. You could do the RODI water. You could do a lot of stuff like that to minimize it. But at this point, there's no completely getting away from it. And it's obvious. I mean, we've talked about it on our shows way back. Testosterone levels are tanking.
Yep.
And there's a reason for that. Obviously, this even helps explain the gender dysphoria that's going crazy right now.
Gender dysphoria, the fact that Gen Z identifies as gay like much higher than any previous group.
Yes. And that's just not healthy that it's exogenous drugs causing this.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking horrible. Dude.
Yes.
It's an attack on the young people. It's an attack on all of us, honestly.
You know what's kind of funny about it? There's been numerous cases where females, and you can find this in literature, where they've either have been gay or bi, and then they get off birth control, and it's almost like they snap out of it, and they're straight again.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yes. So we know that these drugs do that. That they change attraction and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, the MAHA movement, hormonal birth control is just terrible. Just terrible.
Women
and
shouldn't be on birth control. It fucks with them.
No, they're really bending over backwards to get a male one too. And basically what it does is it lowers your testosterone so much that you quit producing sperm, is what they're trying to do. And then they're going to give you some exogenous type of testosterone replacement that can't be testosterone, or else that would just produce the sperm. So it's, no, I take that back. If you give it exogenously, it bypasses the testes, so it doesn't do that. So what they're going to do is they're going to plummet your testosterone levels and give you exogenous testosterone. Problem is, obviously, then you're stuck on that forever, which obviously the pharmaceutical companies love. But you're stuck on that forever. They claim it's going to be your
men
come back.
don't take this poison. Yeah. And women get off of it also.
Stop taking it.
It's terrible for
Stop
you.
taking it.
I think they're linking it to a bunch of cancers and stuff, you know. That's just
cancers,
stuff I've seen.
Stroke, blood clots. It's just, they're going to find out more and more. You're tricking your body to think that you're pregnant every day forever.
Right.
It's not normal.
Miggles. My friend who was on birth control for years now has osteoporosis, and she's only in her 30s.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can overstate how dangerous all this shit is. And, just in general, like, I've always been skeptical of pharmaceuticals, but man, have I become more and more skeptical of them to the point where, in general, I don't trust these pharmaceuticals at all.
No, and they shouldn't, because there's lawsuit after lawsuit showing that they lie constantly. They only care about profits, and they don't care at all if you die.
Right.
In fact, they just want you on the brink of death, so you're a patient forever.
Yeah.
The fentanyl thing. I mean, they used to tell doctors that fentanyl was less habit forming, and that they should be prescribing that first over other sort of pain pills. It's crazy what they get away with.
The amount of scandals.
And you know what's funny about that?
Is crazy.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that too is they have to come up with all sorts of laws this, because they go into doctors' offices and they wine and dine them, and they count and they know how much the prescriptions are giving. But liberals used to be against this. They used to be against pharma. That's why Dementia Biden forgets what he's doing. He just say, "We beat Big Pharma," when in fact nobody's given Big Pharma as much money as the Biden administration ever.
Right.
So he didn't beat them. He helped them beat us.
They've
is what
created
he's doing.
a monster. Yeah.
But yes. Liberals used to be against Big Pharma until the COVID shot came out, and the Trump derangement syndrome. Whatever Trump was against or for, liberals had to be the opposite. This was where it gets a little bit weird, because he was the Project Lightspeed and stuff, but it's more about MAGA people were staying away from the injection. You have liberals, they were getting tattoos of like Moderna tattoos and Johnson & Johnson. And they were acting like it took over like St. Fauci a bit for them, where it was almost a religious experience.
Big time.
Where instead of being against these pharmaceutical companies, they were praising them. It's crazy.
Kenobi says, every week at the restaurant I chef at, they wine and dine doctors and such every Thursday night.
It's supposed to be illegal now. Yep. That's supposed to be illegal now.
Yeah, it's despicable.
But you've probably seen it. They could do that with vaccines now. There's a doctor recently came out and basically said, if I gave this COVID shot to all of my patients, I would have gotten like $13 million or something crazy from Blue Cross.
Yeah.
Blue Cross sends out, and they give you basically rewards you for how much of these annual injections that you give out.
Yeah.
That's why you'll get the full court press if you go to a well visit for either baby or kid. They give you the full court press on those annual ones. The one-time ones are the 3-shot ones from when you're a baby. They don't give you those aren't the important ones, the pharmaceutical companies. It's the ones where you get every year over and over and over.
Yeah, 'cause it
those
gives
are the
them
important
money.
ones for them. Yeah, forever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy look how sick everyone in America is. Our infant mortality rate's way up.
Never been sicker.
Never been sicker.
Never been sicker.
Our medical and healthcare system is incredibly flawed and pathetic. And pharmaceuticals in general suck the life out of you. People need to get off of their, off of bad medications. Anyway, Kenobi says, always keep the group small too, like 15 or less people. Maybe that's how they hide it.
I'm sure it's so you got these companies that don't give a shit if they're fined anyway. And they're the ones that write the laws. I'm sure a whistleblower came up with the fentanyl thing, and so they said, don't worry, we're changing the laws. And they changed it just enough so that CNN and Time magazine can write it so they feel warm and fuzzy, but nothing changes practically.
Right.
Instead of them counting and telling you, they will insinuate it. There's so many just ways around these laws that don't matter. Well, if you have, you talk about Obamacare, and the whole idea of that was supposed to be against the health insurance companies. The health insurance companies wrote the bill. They have made more money since Obamacare than ever before. If you look at their profits, they're skyrocketing profits right now. because they wrote the bill. And it's funny, you'll hear liberals try to say, well, they had to change it because the Republicans. No Republican voted for Obamacare. I got to point that out. Not a single Republican voted for it. So they could take no blame for it because they didn't vote. They didn't need the Republicans. They could have put whatever the fuck they wanted into that and voted on it. They had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. But they're still trying to blame the Republicans for not voting for a piece of shit bill that has made the insurance companies a lot of money and given everyone else really terrible insurance.
Yeah,
they've
ended up
ruined
being a
the insurance
disaster.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah, a disaster. Yeah. They ruined the insurance market, and because no Republicans voted for it, they're somehow still trying to blame the Republicans for it.
Yeah, why
it's
not?
Really bizarre.
You know, if they have no shame, so they'll just
everyone's
lie.
gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the media's gonna go with it anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, Garrett, we've got an hour.
What's our timer at?
Hour and 5 minutes.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think?
This might not be a bad place to stop anyway, just because I can't see.
Okay.
And I think instead of restarting, we'll save that next segment for next week.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad that somehow our stream is screwing up where you can't see the videos. But
yeah, it paused. But I could tell by looking at my phone that it's running fine on everyone else's end.
Okay, at least there's that.
That's the important thing. Yeah.
Well, let me play us out with something then. We'll probably just call it here. Let's
Perfect.
see. You know what? Here's a 6-second video of the Democrats trying to start a USA chant. And this is Kamala's weirdo husband trying to... Let's show them.
You know what? Don't play us out. Just play that one. Don't play us out yet. I have a couple things I want to say.
Okay. Here it is. Let me make sure it's... Yeah, okay. Here we go. Whoops. There we go.
USA. So... USA. You can say it. USA.
So you can't hear that, Garrett?
I can't. I can hear. I can't see it. But he's starting to start, and that cut off. That started a little late. He was trying to start a USA chant and just messed it up.
Well, it wasn't going to work with that crowd.
These guys hate any sort of patriotism.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is like the demons not being able to say the Lord's Prayer. You know, that's what it looks like. It sounds like.
Yeah, it is a similar kind of thing there. That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Democrats hate America, so they can't do a USA chant. You know, that's the same reason they can't fly an American flag anymore. The Democrat Party has gone so fucking far out the window, they can't even do a USA chant. Let's play it one more time.
Yes.
Hey, USA. So you can say it.
That is too good. That video is too good, man. Well, should we call it there?
Yeah, let's call it. That's a good stopping place.
That was a good show. Box Bar.
Yep.
Box Bar
Thanks
says good show,
guys.
gents. Cheers. Cheers, Box Bar. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks, Miggles,
Nice
Kenobi. Thanks, Lily Lala.
Are we,
Thanks for chatting.
Are we going back to 9 next week then, Nate? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
9 o'clock next Monday?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yep, we'll see you guys 9 o'clock next Monday.
All right, see y'all.
See you guys.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens.